My thoughts this week are summed up in a short clip from a conversation I had with my friend Dijon, who will be my week 3 guest, to talk about raising his sister's children after she passed away. And the 3 takeaways are: we need to dump the preconceived notion of who is a stepdad. Second, we need to share our stories in order to benefit others. And 3, vulnerability equals reality. You have to be real in order to build real relationships. Here's the clip. When we talk about like blended families and step parents and step kids, there's so many situations that are unique. It's hard to say a word like stepdad or step family or blended family and really know what people are talking about, because there's so many situations that, and even in my situation, we talked about when I recorded the podcast yesterday was, for a while I was almost like ashamed to talk about, like, hey, I'm getting ready to get married for the third time. Like, that used to be like, you just didn't tell people that, or, if you did it, people talked about you. But now you're like, it's just, why am I going to be ashamed of, this is my life and this is what's happening? And, it is what it is. And especially as stepdads, if we're going to be stronger together, I can't put up a front and try to pretend like I'm something I'm not, because eventually somebody's going to find out. So I might as well just be honest and own it. And then, and then we have these kind of conversations where you're in a really unique situation where some people might even argue, well, you're not really a stepdad. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter. Like, you're in a situation of raising kids that aren't yours. That's the point,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
I'm trying to shed some of those, preconceived notions and labels and stuff like that. And, I have to name it something, but I don't want to be exclusive of people that are in certain situations that don't fit the traditional narrative of, this is what a stepdad is. I'm like, no, man, if you're raising kids that aren't yours, that's kind of what I'm going for here, is
Yeah.
what are we experiencing? And, I've got a couple people that have hit me up even just today. Like, the community is growing, people are hearing about it, and they're like, yeah, man, I need to talk. And, I got this going on, and hey, is anybody hopping on, Zoom calls? Like, Facebook is great, but let's have a conversation. I'm like, I'm already doing it. Let's do it.
Yeah, no, it is obviously. So I was in it for about 5 years, and I would always just speak to my wife, my sister, and obviously speaking to my sister. So I had 3 sisters, so I'd still speak to my sister about it, and she would let me vent. She would understand, and she'd be like, "Oh my gosh, it sounds so hard," but she'll be the first person to say, "I actually can't imagine how hard it is. I can't imagine doing that. I can't imagine having like so it's having someone who you can vent to who is in a similar situation. Now, no matter if it's not exactly the same, like you say, you're able to understand and kind of feed back instead of just being like, oh yeah, oh that's awful. Oh, you're doing a good job, which is the cliche. Oh no, the cliche one is, oh, that's amazing what you're doing. It's like, well, that doesn't help me because no one else,
Right.
no one in this house feels amazing right now. But thank you, and that's the end of the
Yeah,
conversation.
that's
Oh,
like
that's
somebody
amazing.
giving you a
Yeah,
pat on the back and then walking away, and
yeah.
you're like, I'm still here, still floundering.
Oh no, I could definitely see the appeal and the need for a group or a community that allows. Do you know one phrase I've learned in networking and I hate it, but it makes sense now? Like-minded people. When people say like-minded people, it sounds like you could use that for any context. But in this situation, meeting with somebody who is in a similar situation, and as I say, especially if you are at the top of that with your prior knowledge and expertise, and you're able to shed all those, or you can't mention that, but that doesn't count. Letting people just speak and in the process heal and learn. And what is the term you use? Um, yeah, it's almost that just bettering themselves to the best they can be
Yep.
through other people's experiences. Because everything that I did, I can laugh about and I can joke about and I can see where I went wrong. As I say, we left on bad terms. And if I now could speak to myself then, I would have done a better job. It's that simple.
Yeah.
If my knowledge could speak to me then, so speaking to someone else who's been doing it for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, who did it when they were younger, all that knowledge is in one place. It's huge.
Well, and I
But
think what
definitely
I've
the humor side needs to be up front because that is what gets you through a lot of the time.
yeah.